By the time the third guy came out, Mr. Marsh was like, "Hey, boys, what the hell are you even watching?"
Damn, motherfucker, what you do on my
Welcome back to HMP. My name is Adam, and have I got a story time for you today. You know, life is filled with little cinematic journeys, and sometimes even a single movie can lead you down the path that you might not expect and maybe even broaden your cinematic horizons. I have one such story for you today, but before we get into that, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and tap that bell just to be notified when new video drops. Thank you all so much. You're all beautiful and amazing, and all the bad things that people have been saying about you, lies. So remember to be a dirty baby and leave a comment for your mom below, and let's get into the story. Now, you might not think it to look at me, but I was not a popular kid in high school. I know, right? And as such, my friend group was just a little bit hard to classify, you know? We weren't really jocks or rednecks or band kids. We weren't the goth kids, and even though the goth kids were pretty popular in the 90s, we weren't cool enough to be hanging out with the black kids, and honestly, despite most of us actually being pretty smart, we were really too rude for the smart kids as well. Now, like most kids in high school, I would imagine we had our own lunch table and everything with all of our friends. You had me and Jason, Matt, Russ, another Adam, Noah, and maybe we had a few ins and outs depending upon, who got which lunch hour that year. One day at lunch, Matt and Jason were talking about a movie that they rented from Blockbuster Video over the weekend called Dolemite. Now, they would recount scenes and lines and stuff from the movies, and you'd swear that they were just doing some kind of wild improv or movie Mad Libs or something like that. Everything just sounded insane. It was like hearing people talk about the discovery of fire, only that you just can't really imagine what they're describing. None of it sounds real. Over the next few weeks, one after another, each of the lunch table losers would rent that Dolemite VHS from Blockbuster and report back to school the next day. Now, watching Dolemite was actually like being let into some sort of secret society, This 70s cultural landmark of a blaxploitation film hit this group of white boys in the late 90s like a ton of bricks. A few weeks later, Jason would hit the lunch table with the greatest news ever. There was a sequel to Dolemite called The Human Tornado. So we had to watch this movie ASAP, so that evening we all showed up at Jason's house and set up in his living room. Now, to his credit, Jason's parents were actually pretty cool. They let these high school boys alone in their living room to watch this R-rated movie. No big whoop. I can tell you this much, that wouldn't have happened at my house. We popped that VHS in there, and let me tell you, as much as we love Dolemite, The Human Tornado took it to another level. More over-the-top characters, more bad kung fu, more catchy phrases that we would steal and use in our everyday conversation. This sucker had everything. Now, there's a scene in this movie where Dolemite needs to get some information out of this white lady, so he dresses up as a door-to-door erotic painting salesman. 70s were wild, man. Now, it's about this time that Jason's dad walks into the room at the exact worst time that anyone could walk into this movie. Anywhere else in the film, and you'd likely just be saying like, well, what kind of cheap piece of garbage movie is this? I don't know, who cares? Now, he sees nothing leading up to all of this, but Mr. Marsh walks in, and the very first thing that he sees is a giant toy box on this stage that opens up, and a large, like bodybuilder big, naked black guy comes out, flexes, and then steps out of the box. But it doesn't stop there. Another black beefcake comes out of this toy box, does the exact same thing. By the time the third guy came out, Mr. Marsh was like, "Hey, boys, what the hell are you even watching?" Frankly, we didn't have a really good answer. Thankfully, he just headed to the kitchen to get a drink and would just disappear into another part of the house, leaving the rest of the movie to us. But I gotta be honest with you, as crazy as that scene was, it was the conclusion of that very scene that really blew all of our minds. Dolemite is interrogating the white woman that he was trying to sell the erotic painting to by having sex with her. Because that's how you interrogate people. They are having sex so hard the house literally collapses in on itself, and that's how Dolemite finds out where Cavaletti is hiding his girls.
Where's Cavaletti hiding my girl? Where's Cavaletti hiding my girl?
They're at the house! On the hill! In Pasadena!
They're at the house on the hill in Pasadena.
This movie was amazing, and I want to tell you, never underestimate watching a movie with a group of friends. The rest of the lunch table losers would move on to other cinematic adventures, but me, I kept my toe in the blaxploitation films for a good little while in my late teens and early 20s with all of Rudy Ray Moore's other movies like Disco Godfather, Petey Wee's Straw, The Devil's Son-in-Law, and then on to like Black Caesar, Hell Up in Harlem, Coffee, Foxy Brown, Black Mama, White Mama, Truck Turner, Willie Dynamite, list goes on, you know. And then those Pam Grier movies would then lead you into the Women in Cages films, which then leads you into all the action films shot for like $7 in the Philippines. And to me, that's what cinema is all about, you know? It should be like watching a film, learning from new things, exploring new ideas, and going outside of your area of expertise. We should be actively curious and never really lose our sense of discovery, you know? You never know what you might find out there. That'll do it for this story time. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Remember to be a dirty baby and leave a comment for your mom below, and we'll see you in the next one.
Man, move over and let me pass. Supposed to have to be pulling these hush puppies out your motherfucking ass.